So you talking to me?
There are very few people who do not know the name Robert De Niro. He is one of the most famous actors in Hollywood and is seen as a living legend. With that kind of status, he's made a lot of money. We wanted to know how he spends his millions. This is what we found out. This is Robert De Niro's net worth, lifestyle, and how he spends his millions. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Who is Robert De Niro? The multi-millionaire actor Robert Anthony De Niro Jr. was born on August 17, 1943. He's also a producer and director. He is particularly known for his 9 collaborations with filmmaker Martin Scorsese, and is the recipient of various accolades, including 2 Academy Awards, a Golden Globe Award, the Cecil B. DeMille Award, and a Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award. In 2009, De Niro received the Kennedy Center Honor and received a Presidential Medal of Freedom from the United States President Barack Obama in 2016. Robert has been involved with at least 26 women in his career. His first marriage was to Dianne Abbott from April 28, 1976 to 1988. They had 1 child together and he never had more children from a wife. He does have 3 children. His children are Elliot, born on March 18, 1998, and Helen Grace, born via a surrogate on December 23, 2011. She's now 9 years old. Draina De Niro is his daughter through adoption, being Dianne Abbott's daughter from a previous marriage. His last and second marriage was with Grace Hightower from June 17, 1997 until November 2018. In his 1980 Oscar acceptance speech, he thanked Joey LaMotta, brother of Jake LaMotta, who was at the time suing United Artists for the portrayal of him in Raging Bull, 1980. After being caught up in a Paris prostitution ring investigation in 1998, he, denying any involvement, vowed never to return to France again. In 2003, De Niro was diagnosed with prostate cancer and expected to make a full recovery. Well, he is still alive today. Robert De Niro started the whole award show ribbon tradition by wearing a green ribbon on his lapel at the 1981 Academy Awards. The ribbon was in remembrance of several African-American children who were victims of a serial killer in Atlanta, Georgia in 1980 to 81. The ribbon was given to him by a fan in the bleachers as he arrived. The victims' families had been wearing them for months. He proudly wore it during the award ceremony. How does Robert De Niro make his money? Robert De Niro has a net worth of $500 million. He is an A-list actor, which means he can charge at least $20 million per movie, and that is exactly what he does. De Niro's career took off long ago. He had a string of acclaimed performances from Taxi Driver to Deer Hunt. The latter, which earned him yet another Academy Award nomination, the part of Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, would make him an icon. His phrase, "You talking to me?" which De Niro improvised on the spot in the movie, would go on to become a classic line in American cinema. De Niro is an intense method actor. He worked as a taxi driver to play Travis Bickle. He lived in Sicily for Godfather 2. He learned how to play the saxophone for New York, New York. In 1980, he put it all to the test to play real-life boxer Jack LaMotta in Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull. De Niro learned how to box and gained 60 pounds for the part. The effort would prove well worth his time, as Robert ended up winning a Best Actor Academy Award for the part. In 1993, De Niro made his directorial debut of A Bronx Tale. The film was written by fellow actor Chaz Palminteri and was based on his one-man show about Palminteri's rowdy youth. The film was dismissed, yet has found a small audience since the release. De Niro would not return to the director's chair until 2006 with The Good Shepherd. How does De Niro spend his money? With heaps of money to spend, De Niro can buy most things his heart desires. We went looking and came up with this list: divorce settlements and debts. According to Grace Hightower's filing for divorce, Robert's net worth is at least $500 million, and that he made $250 to $300 million between 2004 and 2018 alone, much of which came from his expanding Nobu empire. Under the terms of a prenup that the two signed in 2004, Grace would be owed $1 million per year for the number of years they were married, a $6 million apartment, $500,000 in cash, and half the value of their primary residence. A later interpretation of the prenuptial agreement, as revealed in court documents, called for Robert to pay Grace $1 million in any year that he earned at least $15 million, which is most years. If he earned less, he would pay proportionately less to Grace. In July 2020, as the divorce raged on, Grace filed a complaint with the court stating that Robert had cut her monthly American Express allowance from $100,000 down to $50,000. De Niro's response claimed that due to the global health situation, his income had dried up and his business empire was in freefall. He reportedly had to borrow $500,000 to help cover part of Nobu's mounting debt. His lawyers claimed that Nobu lost $3 million in April and $1.9 million in May. His lawyers also claimed that De Niro would be lucky if he makes $7.5 million in 2020. The judge in the case ultimately decided that reducing Grace's Amex allowance to $50,000 wasn't unreasonable, but also ordered Robert to pay Grace $75,000 to help her find a summer house, since Robert is currently living in their former primary home. De Niro and the town of Gardner were once embroiled in an expensive 3-year battle over property taxes for his massive mansion. When his property was assessed at $6 million, the star contested paying the fees and took the matter to court in a bitter dispute. Ultimately, De Niro agreed to pay the pricey tax fee and cover the legal expenses incurred by the town. Houses. Robert De Niro owns property in his home state of New York, located in Gardner, New York. De Niro's residence there consists of 2,220 square foot main house sitting on an astonishing 98 acres of land. He purchased the estate in 1997 for only $1.5 million, which is pocket change for a man like Robert De Niro. The land originally featured an 18th century wood-framed farmhouse with additions from the 1820s and 1980s. The renovations made for a total of 6 bedrooms, 2 baths, and 2,700 feet of water frontage on the Hudson River. De Niro has put the Gardner property through an extensive overhaul since it's been in his possession. He transformed a run-of-the-mill barn into an epic 14,000 square foot recreation center, complete with a boxing room, small film studio, game room, gym, basketball court, swimming pool, steam room, and sauna. Barns on the property were converted into a workshop and an office, while 2 guest houses, a tennis court, and even a ski slope can also be found there. Many people forget that De Niro's father, Robert De Niro Sr., was an established artist in New York. He often travels to Montauk to get away, and eventually built a home there. When he died in 1992, the home went to his son. Truly little detail is known about the 2,278 square foot home, except for the fact that it sits on 1.24 acres of beachfront property and has an estimated value of nearly $8 million. Even so, in late 2017, De Niro was permitted to build a new home on the property after he convinced local officials that the existing home his father built in the 50s was beyond repair. In addition to his sprawling property in Gardner, Robert De Niro also rented a pristine penthouse in Manhattan. The palatial pad was inhabited by De Niro in 2012 and boasts of 5 bedrooms and 4.5 baths over a whopping 11,000 square feet. De Niro dished out a pretty penny to call this Greenwich Village spot home, $25.5 million to be exact. The open layout features a 2-story foyer and floor-to-ceiling windows that overlook the interior courtyard. There's also a grand living room with a fireplace, a master suite with double walk-in closets, and an ensuite bathroom. Other amenities include a steam room, library, home office, media room, formal dining room, and an incredible outdoor area that serves as a private piece of paradise in a city that's usually all hustle and bustle. Landscaped terraces, breathtaking views of the Hudson River, and the city skyline are just a few more reasons to fall in love with this contemporary home. Did we mention that there's also a private 3,000 square foot garage for at least 7 cars? De Niro ultimately put this perfect penthouse back on the market in 2015 for $39.5 million, but the price was significantly reduced to $25.5 million. Now in April 2021, it's down to $22.995 million. Cars. De Niro owns a Maserati Gran Turismo. The car is stunning. It has an engine capacity of 4.7 liters. It has a maximum horsepower of 454 at 7,000 RPM. The torque of the vehicle is 384 at 4,750 RPM. Charity. Robert De Niro supports his fair share of charities. These include 46,664, American Foundation for AIDS Research, Artists for Peace and Justice, Barbara Davis Center for Childhood Diabetes, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, Celebrity Fight Night Foundation, Elton John AIDS Foundation, Film Aid International, Film Foundation, Friars Foundation, Fulfillment Fund, Hearts of Gold, LeBron James Family Foundation, Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center, Robert F. Kennedy Memorial, Stand Up to Cancer, and Stiller Strong. Since De Niro is a big player in the film industry, we can only assume that his contributions to these charities are quite hefty. Robert De Niro may look and act like a tough guy, but those in the know he is a caring person. At 77, he is one of the oldest working actors in Hollywood. He is part of an era that we will miss one day. That is all I have time for today. Join us next time for more fantastic videos. I will see you then.